In modern times, theism has been the dominant paradigm. Indeed, between Christianity and Islam, theism claims billions of adherents. But recently, there has been a growing rise of adherents to a doctrine known as Panentheism. It is especially popular with idealists, since they already hold the view that all is mind. The fatal problem for panentheists is that it is impossible for a panentheistic God to exist. To understand why, we must first understand what panentheism is. There are three main paradigms on this issue. The first is theism. Theism is essentially the notion that God created the universe, but is wholly ontologically distinct from it. The second paradigm in this manner is known as pantheism. Pantheism holds that God and the universe are one and the same. In other words, that there is an ontological identity relation. And the third is panentheism. Panentheism holds that the universe is a part of God, that the universe is in God, but that God in some sense transcends the universe or is greater than it. Panentheism thus holds that though the universe is in God, there is still a distinction between the two. There are two reasons why it is impossible for a panentheistic God to exist. The first reason is that a panentheistic God is not a maximally great being. For God to exist, he must be a maximally great being in order to escape infinite regress and contingency. But we can conceive of a being that which is greater than a panentheistic God. And of course, that is a being that does not contain within itself sin, evil, suffering, degeneration, destruction, imperfection, insects, and death. Since those things are a part of the universe, and the universe is a part of a panentheistic God, a panentheistic God is not a maximally great being. The second reason is that things in the universe are finite, but God is conceptually understood as an infinite being. This means that a panentheistic God entails a contradiction analytically and metaphysically, since a being cannot contain either quantitatively or qualitatively infinity and finitude, since they are mutually exclusive. The only paradigm of God that is viable as being a maximally great being and does not have the infinite finite contradiction is a theistic God.